Welcome to Dysfunctional Adults, a comedy podcast in which we discuss entertainment, culture, and being middle-aged dads. I'm Zach, and these are my co-hosts, John and Jason. Say hi, guys.
Hi, guys.
Hi, guys.
We are bitter, cynical Gen-Xers, saddled with crippling debt and depressingly past our primes. But that's what makes our lives so funny.
That's awesome. You sound like Zach Brannigan from Futurama.
Oh, yeah, Zach Brannigan.
Zap Brannigan. I called him Zach because he's Zach.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Well, I'm Zap from now on.
That's your stripper name, Zap.
So, let's get this started, guys. Who's first? Who's gonna tell me what they're into these days and what they're doing? Because it's been a whole couple weeks.
Yeah, I can go first.
I'd rather hear from John, but okay, go ahead. No,
I'm working. That's what I did this week.
All right.
And I haven't had a lot of time this week for really much of anything. I did see for the first time, which is kind of weird, Stardust. It came out in like 2007, actually.
Sounds like
yeah.
It does, but it's actually a movie based on a Neil Gaiman novel, and it has Michelle Pfeiffer in it and Robert De Niro and actually Charlie Cox, who's Daredevil.
Oh,
but he's like
barely 1996. He would have been like a teenager.
Well, this came out in 2007.
Oh, okay.
So he was still a teenager. His voice hadn't quite dropped completely yet, so he was kind of like, "Excuse me, sir," So,
but he was wearing his Daredevil outfit the whole time too, right?
Which was really weird because I guess they were planning way ahead. But
yeah.
So that's
even back then he had to be better than Ben Affleck, right?
I think he was. But yeah, it was a pretty cool movie. I had never seen it. It's a kind of a romantic fantasy fairy tale thing, and I got no problem with that. But it was good.
I think I've seen it, but it's just barely there. I mean, you said it's fantasy, right? It's got like magic in it, and
yeah, it's fantasy. I'd say it's probably more a fairy tale.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, it's comedy, romance, and magic.
Nice.
It was pretty good. So you can take my man card away now.
Nah, we don't play like that here. It's okay. I cry at Doctor Who, certain special episodes. I mean, take my man card away, I guess.
No.
You never had it.
Oh yeah.
You haven't had one for years. There's nothing.
That's why I always say that. I'm just like, oh, take my man card. What are you gonna do? Well, what are you doing these days? What are you into? What are you watching? Anything pop culture?
I haven't watched anything for a while, but tell you one thing I'm getting into is food truck Mondays at the park in my neighborhood. Every Monday, 6 to 8 food trucks are booked, and they show up, and they're different every single week. So you got a whole smorgasbord of good food options without having to deal with all the, crap of restaurants and waiting times. And
do you live in heaven?
What I found out is that this happens like all over the valley. Like each day of the week is like a different park has like, there's food truck Monday at this park, food truck Tuesday at this park, and on Wednesdays at other parks. So
they don't go to the parks in my neighborhood. I live in the hood.
Exactly. For some reason, children aren't allowed at the parks in your neighborhood. But that's what I've been getting into. We've been deprived of good food, good restaurants for so long. I am so enjoying the nice weather and the loosening of restrictions with masks and all this other stuff, so we can go out and start enjoying good food again.
You look happier. I mean, you look all bright and shiny.
Happier. Other than, we've been driving more because the weather's nice. I'm not happy when you have to fill up the SUV and it's $75. That makes me
hey, at least we have
happy.
gas. Have you guys heard about the shortage in the
Texas
and
Georgia? Yep.
Yeah, there's this video online of this old lady filling up a plastic bag with gasoline.
That doesn't sound smart.
No.
Smoking a cigarette.
Is hoarding gas going to be like the the toilet paper of 2020.
I really think so. Yeah, it's
people can have gallons and gallons of gasoline in their garage, just waiting for a spark to take out the whole block.
I'm thinking water balloons filled with gasoline. I mean, that
gas fire.
like
Remember
a
Zoolander?
Zoolander.
They all died in a freak gas fire. They're all spraying each other. That was epic.
It really was.
Well, yeah, I mean, so yeah, you may be paying $75, but at least you got gas.
Yeah. Well,
so
I got gas.
You ungrateful.
Well, speaking of gripes, I got another old guy gripe that's semi-related to gas. It's a small one, but what's the point of being middle-aged if you can't complain about every single little thing?
Right. Split some hairs, man. Let's do this.
Anyway, Maverick calling their cashiers adventure guides. Have you noticed that? Every time you fill up from gas at Maverick and the pump says, see your adventure guide for receipt. I just look, I got nothing against cashiers. It's a perfectly cromulent profession.
It enquickens the soul.
Yes, but let's be honest here. They're not, guiding whitewater rafting tours down the Amazon or leading expeditions up the face of Mount Everest.
They're Sherpas.
They're selling overpriced gas and road snacks. Let's hyperbole down a few notches, okay? Maverick. Anyway, I know that's an old guy gripe, but I roll my eyes every time I see the adventure guide line on the gas pump.
Yeah, you were probably saying the same thing about sandwich artists when that was a big deal.
Yes, sandwich artists.
Yeah.
The sandwich artist, and I say that in air quotes, at my local Subway when I went there last, was high as a kite in the back room. He'd come out every 5 minutes to get the next step of my order, but his eyes were bloodshot, and I had to repeat myself five times.
So he is an
artist. Apologize.
It wasn't you this time, Zach. It was
okay.
Some young kid. But it was
young. Thanks. Cool. Got it.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, that younger. How do I dig myself out of this hole?
I'm not mad. We're all old.
Oh my gosh.
So anyway, yeah, that's my old guy gripe of the week.
I love it. I think that should be a new feature on this podcast. John's old guy gripe, because
man shakes fist at cloud.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I love that show.
50% of my mind is like Simpsons memories, and I can't wait for dementia someday when I can't tell the difference between shows that I've watched and my life. And so I'll be telling stories about the time that I joined the Stonecutters, or moved to Alaska, right?
World War II and stuff like that.
I was a fighting hellfish, and Mr. Burns tried to steal the money from me.
Yeah, I can't wait to tell old war stories about wars I was never in.
Especially ones that you weren't even born yet.
Yeah, see how old my kids get before they realize, Dad, Grandpa, you weren't even around for Vietnam. That ended a couple years before you were born.
Oh, you need to with your kids going back to public school, you've got to tell them to fight their teachers on history. If they don't know anything about the United States-Canadian War of 1976, you want to make them so adamant and so believing in you that they'll go to detention defending. Make that a hill they'll die on.
My dad told me all these old war stories from the 70s about Canadian War.
There was
make up an entire song about it, like something that you would sing on the battlefield on your way to Ontario. And we go on to fight the.
That would be awesome, especially if they're telling about the battle between 1,000 Mounties and like 2 U.S. tanks.
They're all riding their polar bears into battle and their snowmobiles,
South Park
swinging their hockey sticks. Yeah.
I actually didn't see that. So
it was all like the U.S. Army with their tanks and machine guns, and all these Mounties with chainsaws and stuff.
Yeah.
Some Americans like ideas of what a Canadian is supposed to look like. Like I was working with this guy once, and he was like training over the phone with this guy at the corporate office that I knew the other guy was Canadian. And when he finally came in to train in person, the first guy I was working with, he was like, "Oh, that guy didn't even look Canadian." It's like, what do you expect him to look like? Like a huge beard,
leading a moose,
carrying like an axe over his shoulder or something. He just looked American. It's like,
technically,
that's what they look like.
Canada is North America, so
I do like the South Park take on what the Canadians look like. I wish they looked like that.
Small little beady eyes, those little
and the flappy heads. Yep.
Because I mean, South Park's animation with Americans is so spot on too, right? It's like top notch.
I mean, sometimes I feel like I look like Cartman. It depends on the day.
You know what's funny? Is there's every time I go to a hotel, South Park's always like on the TV. Like for some reason, the stars align, and the only time I really watch South Park is when I'm in a hotel, and that used to be quite often before the pandemic because I did some traveling for the author gig, and it was funny. Just every time I'd go to the hotel, it would be like, "That's when you watch South Park." Maybe it's because like, you know, the wife and kids aren't around. I don't know. But,
right.
Yeah.
Then there's those special channels where you have to pay money, but you don't know anything about that.
Nope, not at all. I actually called down to the concierge desk and said, "Hey, where's the adult channels?" And they said, "Sir, we provide you free Wi-Fi."
As good as you get.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, that's nowadays, but back in the day, I know what I want to talk about.
They're like,
come on, you guys.
Disney store. We told you 3 times this week, sir. Stop coming in here requesting pornography.
And stop trying to put in an application for employment here.
What about you, Zach? What you been watching, playing, experiencing?
Xbox has this thing going, which I did not realize. And with my current employment situation, lack thereof, I could have been on top of this, but they are giving you extra points, or not extra points. Excuse me. Let me back up. They are counting how many points you get if you play zombie genre games or games that involve zombies of some sort. So I just found out last night, and I started playing Doom Eternal again, which that game is fantastic. I mean, it's fast.
It's awesome.
It's difficult. Have you played it at all?
I've been playing it here and there, like for 5 minutes at a time. So,
does it make you dizzy? Sometimes I get dizzy playing it. It's that like intense.
It is.
Or maybe I need to breathe a little more and blink. But anyway, that game, I started playing that to get the points, but you can win an Xbox Series X, you know, the new thing coming out if you get in the top 5 of points. So, you know, there's somebody that's been doing this since May 1st. I just got on yesterday, May 12th, and I'm pretty sure I'm not going to make it, but it would be nice. I dream. So that's what I've been playing. And then what have I been watching? Oh my hell. I have been watching The Amazing World of Gumball nonstop, but you guys already knew that. And that show is beautiful, wonderful. It is so hilarious and so brilliant in so many ways, but I really don't have anything to say about it other than that. You just kind of have to watch it. It's an animated kids show. It even says it's for 7 years old and up, but whoo. And I've noticed lately that a lot of the comedy that I enjoy is Canadian. Not just the music, not just the, you know, yeah. Why are they so funny? What is it?
They have
is
to.
it the wood?
Well,
you have to develop a sense of humor to take it all in stride.
Well, when you don't have like natural born courage or confidence or good looks like Americans.
Wow, there went our Canadian listeners. All those people were going to give us their weird Canadian loony dollars, and
they still will because they're so nice and mellow and baked. You know, we're good.
And baked. I think that's a fallacy. I think we developed that back in the day to keep people from going to Canada. Like, oh, they're into drugs. I think it was a fallacy. I think it's fake. I think it's a story we were told
to keep us. That's the border wall of the North.
Yeah.
Scary stories.
Yeah, from our government, because they don't want to lose our taxes. They don't want us going to Canada. You know, years ago though.
Yeah. That's
when I felt like the scare was thrust upon us. But enough of my conspiracy theories, right? That's my old man shtick. I have conspiracy theories.
Canada is the promised land.
Let us go there. But now I think their border is still closed to us right now, isn't it?
It probably will be forever. So they're like, oh my gosh, you guys, race riots and no gasoline and all that stuff going on. We're just Just please go home. Stay out.
Yeah, don't come here.
To your side of the Niagara.
Viagra?
I like that.
Viagra Falls.
Yeah, Viagra Falls. I noticed John wasn't listening until you said something that has to do with penises in one way or another.
Viagra? What?
He was literally asleep, and I said, and he's like, "You woke
right up."
He perked right up, no pun intended. So,
and I woke up too.
Oh,
he got bit by the Brazilian wandering spider of love.
oh, I need that of love. I need that.
Some people believe in Cupid. I believe in the Brazilian wandering spider that can cause an erection and blindness.
Oh man, the blindness is worth it.
Yeah, until it wears off and you wake up in a farmer's field with a bunch of goats standing over you.
Your life is so weird, and I don't know how you do all of that. You're so busy, but you find time to do things like that too.
Meth, my friends, meth. Anyone can see me knows that's a damn lie because I'm like morbidly obese and I have good teeth.
But hey, as my wife said last week, you're not that bad looking.
Ouch!
Okay, it's the funniest thing. We were on a double date with my wife and his wife last Friday. And I don't even remember what the context of this was, but my wife is such a sweet person, and she meant this in the best possible way, but the way she said it just cracked me up. She said, I don't even remember what she was talking about.
She turned around and looked at me. She's like,
you're not that bad looking. Bad looking of a guy. She's like, I mean, I've seen worse. And so I started laughing. It's like, you're not like, how does that sound, honey? It's like, he's like a complete goblin. It's like, I mean, there's like someone somewhere that's probably less attractive than you.
Burn victim.
That's why I saw someone in the burn ward that was missing half his face, once that was slightly less attractive than you. But the way she said it just cracked me up.
For the record, I was laughing so hard I was almost crying because John just kind of laid into her. Not
in a funny way.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
In John's style.
Like, wow, honey, like how does that sound? So yeah, that was the damning with faint praise compliment that my wife gave Jason just last week.
I love it.
That bad looking of a guy.
And the sad thing is
she has seen worse.
It actually made me feel better about myself.
Oh, wait a minute. I was so confused. I thought she was saying that to John.
No,
she was saying it to Jason. I apologize. Not even drunk. This beer is a 0.0 Heineken. They're sponsoring us.
We wish.
You're like, Zach, knock it off. You're going to get us sued.
I would take the beer money.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I want to talk about real quick. I had something come up on Facebook. Those Facebook memories. Essentially, it's something posted like 5 years ago. And I know you know, Zach. One came up that was a few years ago. My daughters are 15 right now. I've got twin daughters that are 15. I love them to death. They're wonderful, but they are teenagers in the full sense of the word. But this memory was from when my daughters were not teenagers and easier to deal with and didn't freak out when I said the wrong things to them. But my daughters would randomly say weird things, and then, of course, I'd post it. And this particular quote that I made was my daughter saying, "You can't win a staring contest with a cat." Like she had discovered this deep, profound truth, and so I had to post it. But it reminded me of some other really funny ones. My other daughter, Rebecca, I heard her singing, "Why do birds suddenly appear?" And then ... to attack you is what she said next.
Definitely your daughters.
I had my daughter Lizzie one time was really upset because I made her do the dishes, and she was crying, and she's like, "What, Dad? Do you want me to do the dishes with my tears?" That was pretty good.
She definitely inherited your dramaticism.
And then one time my son Sam, when he was like 9 or something, he was running around and I heard him yell, "Prepare for judgment!" Like really loud.
Was he like burning ants with a mic or a magnifying glass?
Something got off of one of the Pokemon movies, but he just the way he called it out was really funny. So that just kind of put me down the memory lane and some of the things my kids have said.
That's awesome.
Kids are awesome, though. One of my oldest favorite stories that I've told him from when he was little was, we call it the Goldfish Story. When he was like 1.5, we were laying next to each other in bed just watching TV, and he was eating goldfish crackers. And then just like randomly, he like looks over at me, reaches over and like pulls my shirt up a little bit so my stomach is exposed. He takes out a chewed up goldfish from his mouth, sticks it in my belly button, then pulls my shirt back over to cover it, and just goes back to watching TV and eating his goldfish as if nothing happened. And I'm just sitting there with a soggy goldfish in my belly button, like, what the hell just happened? He didn't say a word the entire time, and he like never talked about this again. And he was only like 1.5, so I couldn't really talk about it anyways. To this day, I have no idea what the hell that was about. It was like the funniest thing ever, and he loves hearing that story. He cracks up every time I tell him.
Oh, that is so funny, man.
That's what you get.
I'm gonna pull my shirt back up, fish out the soggy remains of a goldfish cracker.
Oh my goodness.
Kids are awesome. You have to script stuff like that, but
My littlest Ben, I've talked about him before, but he's starting to barely kind of care about what he wears, but I remember when he was like 6 or 7, he just didn't give a damn. One time we were on our way to church in a hurry, and he ended up, and I have a picture of this, he ended up there wearing a shawl and some old lady hat on his head, and I couldn't get him to not. I was just happy to get him to church, and he just was, and I think he had like a bag too, like a purse. And I'm just like, what's going on here? And then one time I caught him wearing the bunny suit from Christmas Story because my brother had given it to me as a joke for Christmas. Well, he wore it, and then he had like a bandolier of a weapon over it, and like sticks in his, shoved in the back of his shirt like a sword. He was on some kind of quest, dead serious, wearing this giant peak bunny outfit. So,
I love it. Battle Bunny is here.
So. Anyway, sorry, trip down memory lane, and
no, that's
that Goldfish
great.
Story you've never told me, and I'm glad that you just told me here on the pod.
Oh, that was amazing.
so yeah,
What
if
an
you've
amazing
never had
story.
a chewed up goldfish cracker in your belly button.
You haven't lived?
Well, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, my favorite video of my son,
Hezekiah.
Hezekiah. Yeah. How do you spell that?
You're Amish, right?
Yeah.
Amish,
I mean, my name's Zachariah, so yeah, I'm Amish.
Hi, this is Jason. Thanks for taking the time to listen to this commercial. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain.
What are you doing, Jason?
Shut up, Zach. Get away from me. Put your pants back on, for God's sake. Should I start again?
No.
So Anchor's awesome. First of all, it's free. There are creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. I'm doing it from Zach's phone right now, which is probably why he's trying to get it back from me.
It's because you have porn on your phone.
Hey, shut up. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and many more. And you can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership, which is awesome for us because we have
We have none, yeah.
8 people who listen to this podcast. Did I say con? Con. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. So download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Do it now. Do it.
But yeah, my favorite video of my son, my now ex-wife, was taking a video and she's recording him, and he was just a little baby sitting in his chair, food on his face, bib, doesn't talk, just babbles. My favorite age. I just loved him as a
72.
baby. Yeah. Yep. Because, they've been through life. They know what's going on. And they're just like, screw it. I'm just going to be like this instead.
Yeah,
No,
I think it's
72.
less senility and probably. Anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
No, you're fine. So she's saying to him, hey, is there any, little guy, is there anything you want to say to daddy? And she's recording him, and he goes, looks at the camera very, very intently and goes, my favorite video, and I hope I never lose it. It's so adorable.
He is your son.
Yep.
Have they compared you to figures that you didn't want to be compared to yet physically?
Oh,
Like,
my son's only 5. I don't think he.
I've gotten Santa and Colonel Sanders before.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
I'm pretty sure that's when I decided to lose weight and start using Just for Men to color my beard. It's like when Miles he was probably like 4 or something, and my wife was talking to him about Santa Claus, and he just looks at me and goes, "Dad, you're Santa." And she goes, no, Santa's fat and has a white beard. He looks at me and goes, Dad, you're fat and have white in your beard. I just kind of hung my head and shambled away. And then other times as we drive past KFC, he'd point to the sign with Colonel Sanders. Dad, that guy looks just like you. Thanks, son. It's time to start coloring the beard and losing a few pounds.
Colonel Sanders is a good-looking dude. Don't be like that.
Well,
I've seen worse-looking men, John.
Yeah, Jason.
I mean, he's not that bad.
Not
that bad.
So I found something that was pretty funny, and I would like to share it if that's okay. This is our show and tell portion.
Yeah, absolutely. What are you showing though? Because I'm kind of concerned.
It's a good thing this is an audio podcast.
Yeah, absolutely. But I'm looking at the camera. I don't give a shit about these people listening. I don't want to see what you're about to show me.
Come on, it's nothing that God didn't give me. Except for the superfluous nipple, that was a genetic, problem.
And my favorite part of you, by the way.
So, Amazon used to let you be a little more creative with the reviews you put on products.
Oh yeah.
They have since cracked down because they have an algorithm that it's largely influenced by the reviews people leave, and it actually creates visibility for the product the more legitimate reviews they have. But people used to be pretty creative about the reviews they posted. Fortunately, this site that I've frequent is called Board Panda. You've probably been on it. They kind of curate clickbait and weird stuff.
Right.
But anyway, they've captured some of the reviews that used to be on Amazon. They're pretty awesome. So
fantastic.
I would like to give you a sampling of some of the creative powerhouses that perform these reviews. So one second. I want to start off with the, it looks like it is a banana-shaped banana cutter. So you know how you have the egg thing where you put it on the egg and it slices the egg up. It's like that, except it's shaped like a banana. This is the Hutzler 571 banana slicer. And it's got 5 stars, and the subject of the review is Saved My Marriage by Mrs. Toledo. And she says, what can I say about the 571B banana slicer that hasn't already been said about the wheel, penicillin, or the iPhone? This is one of the greatest inventions of all time. My husband and I would argue constantly over who had to cut the day's banana slices. It's one of those chores no one, in all caps, wants to do. The old, I spent the entire day rearing our children. Maybe you can pitch in a little and cut the bananas. And of course, you think I have the energy to slave over your damn bananas. I worked a 12-hour shift just to come home to this. These are the things that can destroy an entire relationship. It got to the point where our children could sense the tension. The minute I heard our 6-year-old girl in her bedroom reenacting our daily banana fight with her Barbie dolls, I knew we had to make a change. That's when I found 571B banana slicer. Our marriage has never been healthier, and we've even incorporated it into our lovemaking. Thanks, 571B banana slicer.
The picture makes it that much better too.
I'll post this on our Facebook page for those who are so inclined.
That's fantastic.
But I'd like to, and I'll post the link to the whole article so you can enjoy all these reviews. But let me give you just a couple more here. So this one is for the Nexus Silent Wired Mouse SM-8500. The 5 stars, and it says the subject is works great by Loose Seal. It says, my girlfriend and I were on the verge of breaking up because I would keep her awake at night with my constant mouse clicking. Not anymore. Consider this relationship saved. This mouse is so silent she will sometimes forget I'm even home and invite her lover over. He's a pretty cool guy.
Nice.
And then there is I'll save that one for last. But there's this penguin mask. Where'd it go?
John.
Yeah,
Penguin mask.
This one's actually for John because he likes penguins in a really unwholesome way.
That's the nicest way you could say that.
He's going to read this review because it's a penguin mask. And if you look at the article, the mask is really frightening. It's not cute. It looks realistic. and the penguin's mouth is molded in a way that makes it look like it's like screaming. So go ahead, Tom.
4 stars. It says, I wear this mask to sing lullabies to my children, by someone named Sir Chubbs. I wear this mask to sing lullabies to my children. They're terrified of the mask. Whenever they protest about their bedtime or ask for too many sweets, I whip on the mask and they soon know who is the king penguin. Someone else responded, good idea for future parenting, LOL. That's awesome.
All right, and then the grand finale here. And this one is a little adult, so I hope, but it was on Amazon, which means it, can't be all that unwholesome, right? So,
well,
this is for and this is spelled Hony, because it must be some kind of Korean-made product. The Honey Male Chastity Device Metal Wire Cage.
Or it was supposed to be horny and they forgot the R.
Right, so it's very Chinese, or 40 millimeter, 45 millimeter, and 50 millimeter are in the title for some reason.
You got the choice.
For some reason.
Endowed.
Well endowed as others.
So,
but you're not the smallest I've ever seen.
Thanks.
Someone somewhere out there is probably less well endowed.
Things I've heard.
The fact that you've seen him makes me very jealous.
Why do we always end up on this topic? Because this is
what
an
the
awesome
podcast
show.
was built upon. It was built upon your penis. That's what this whole show is about.
So the subject of this review, and of course it's 5 stars, it says, keeps my son from sinning, by James Schreiber. My son is going through, I think they misspelled it. My son's going to be starting puberty in the next years. So since his father left me and I am now raising him on my own, I bought one of these for him to wear when he is not being supervised. And again, I don't think I described the product. It is a metal cage-like thing with a padlock on it that would go over the male genitalia. So back to the review.
It's a male chastity belt, basically, right?
Yeah, it's a male chastity belt. So she says, it is well made. I made sure he is unable to take it off without removing the lock. I know it is a great product because he absolutely hates it. I don't enjoy seeing him unhappy, but I enjoy the peace of mind knowing that he isn't messing around at school, sinning at night, and most of all, I'm glad he is remaining pure for the Lord. He's counting the days, 8 years, until he's old enough to join the seminary and be able to take it off. Great product. Thanks again.
Holy cow.
Sounds like
that explains why they needed to crack down on this.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you get a chance, check out some of these reviews. They're really, really hilarious. One more, and I'll just mention, I won't read it, but there's a review for the Holy Bible, the King James Version. And it starts out, it says, for those of you who don't know, this is God's second novel after the Old Testament. Anyway, that's what I found on the interwebs for this week, and I wanted to share that with you and all of our listeners.
Nice.
Thank you, because that made my day. I'm finding some really cool products on this page. I don't give a shit what people are saying about the stuff. I'm going to be
your son is
going
to be going to puberty in about 5 years, so
Yeah, might as well start now. Let's see here. Okay, so I am on ranker.com right now. Doesn't say who wrote this. I'm not going to read the title because I kind of, yeah. Okay, here we go. In 1931, 56-year-old Carl Tanzler was working at a hospital in Florida when he fell in love with a 22-year-old Cuban-American woman named Maria Elena Milagro de Hoyos.
Nice accent.
I do that at restaurants. I'm very pretentious. Like I'm all, I have tapas. Yeah. Tapas. Let's see, where is it? When the couple met, De Hoyos was dying from tuberculosis, a terminal condition in the 1930s, because it's not now. It's not terminal now. You can just have tuberculosis and it's fine. Throughout the last year of her life, Tanzler reportedly showered the young woman with gifts and even purchased an expensive mausoleum when she passed. After her death, Tanzler visited De Hoyos' grave, singing Spanish love songs to her. He later claimed that her spirit encouraged him to remove her from the grave and take her home. So one night in 1933, allegedly haunted by these ghostly requests, Tanzler carried De Hoyos back to home in a wagon. Over the next 7+ years, Tanzler preserved the woman. He replaced her skin with silk and wax, stuffed her body with rags to keep its shape, and used perfumes to disguise the smell. It wasn't until 1940 when De Hoyos' sister Florinda, which that is tragic, Florinda, sorry Florinda if you're listening, stormed into his home with police in tow, that the truth was discovered. Tanzler wasn't actually prosecuted because of the statute of limitations on his initial crime had already lapsed. If ever there was a hero, it's this man. He's my hero. He committed probably some of the most heinous acts anybody could, got caught, didn't get in trouble.
Statute of limitations.
Did they take the body away?
It doesn't say, and you know,
they're like, just don't do it again. So, since you didn't name the article, I'm going to guess it's Heartwarming Love Stories is the article that you're reading from.
Written by
yes.
Nothing says true love like digging your true love up and
Aww.
your corpse.
He really digs her up. I like it.
He really digs her.
I have one more I just want to throw out here because it's just kind of short and funny. In August of 2016, 22-year-old Jasmine Richardson was set free from a Canadian prison. Like, what was it? Like, come on, toothpicks? They don't. Anyway, 10 years after her and her ex-boyfriend's convictions. In 2006, then 12-year-old Richardson and her boyfriend, Jeremy Steinke, murdered Richardson's family. That's funny. Her parents and younger brother in cold blood. The crimes took place in the Richardson family's home in Medicine Hat, Alberta. Now, I would murder people if I lived in a place called Medicine Hat.
Medicine Hat.
Yeah. It's not very clever, I guess. In the months leading up to the murders, the preteen reportedly had made a quick transition from a bright and happy girl to dark and morbid. Authorities claimed that this transition was a result of 23-year-old Steinke's influence.
Or puberty.
Steinke, what's that?
Or puberty.
Right. I was pretty dark and morbid when I was a teenager. Again, glad we didn't have Twitter. Steinke, in fact, believed himself to be a 300-year-old werewolf. Yeah. This page.
Everyone knows werewolves don't live past 150, 170.
Right. So I mean,
that's just nuts. Anyway, continue.
Fact check.
Oh no, that was the end. That was it.
That
just a weird. All right.
That's awesome. And now you can reveal the title from where you pulled these articles. It is
I said it's ranker.com, but I just didn't say the title of it just says Carl Tanzler lived with a corpse for over 7 years before he was discovered, and I didn't want to say that yet.
Gotcha. Okay.
So yeah, it's just from ranker.com, and it says, oh, there it is. 14 completely bizarre true crime stories.
So I was just a little bit off. I thought it was love stories. So
You were, yeah. I mean, well, it's about the same.
Yeah, both of those.
I would consider some of my relationships crimes.
Nothing,
especially because they don't even know I'm in a relationship with them.
Well, you know, you do go to the graveyard frequently. How many girlfriends do you have there?
That is none of your business. And if you want to find out, you can come with me.
You run into other people and you're like, I'm doing genealogy. Yeah, whatever. No, you're dating.
All the grave robbers were like, what? Oh, no.
Archaeology, dating, same thing.
All right, I'm done. That's all I had. After you, John.
All right. Okay, well, randomly, the other day, for no reason, I was thinking of a friend I had in elementary school named Clint. And I wasn't friends with him very long. And honestly, there was really nothing memorable about our friendship. But the one thing I remember about him is he had the hots for that cartoon Fix-It Mouse Gadget on the old Rescue Rangers TV show, the Chippendales Rescue Rangers. Anyway, that got me to remember that I had read once that there is an actual Russian cult that worships Gadget Hackwrench as their goddess. So I looked that up, and it looks like it's centered in a Russian city called Nizhny Novgorod or something like that.
Are all your stories going to be about Russians?
The last one worked out so well. So
you are so racist, dude.
Anyway, this is an article from something called The Mary Sue by Scott Smitelli, published August 18, 2010 originally. But I've seen this posted other places too. But anyway, it goes, Gadget Hack Wrench, animated mouse from the Disney animated series Chip and Dale's Rescue Rangers. Pilot, mechanic, inventor, central figure of worship in a Russian cult. Wait, what? Yes, apparently their love for Gadget burns with such unbridled passion. A group of people in Russia have built an entire religion around her likeness. They pray to posters of Gadget, write songs about her, and place stickers of her anywhere they can. But really, we'll let their words speak for themselves. She is the divine being, the most untouched and perfect sibling of the great God on earth. Why I love her? It's a stupid question. How could I not love the goddess? Quick, cute, optimistic, and her level of technical knowledge is unachievable for a mortal being. Anyway. Yeah, so it is pictures of them with cutouts of her and all that, and the author says, sure, it's understandable why some people might be attracted to the type of woman who could build a functional grappling hook out of nothing but materials accessible to a woodland rodent. And yes, Gadget is the type of female cartoon character that, when Googled with safe search off, will return several images that will force you to revisit a number of your childhood memories in a much more inappropriate context. But outright worship of her, that's a little weird, even by internet standards. So there you go. The Russian cult that worships Gadget Hack Wrench from Rescue Rangers is a thing.
Oh man,
if you can think of something, it's a thing.
Why have we not been invaded by aliens yet? No, I know why they're not here. They just show up in the sky. They access our internet and they're like, oh, hell no. And they just go on to the next planet.
No, done. Moving on.
It's like in Age of Ultron, when Ultron goes on the internet and decides in 5 seconds that humanity has to be destroyed.
You know about bronies, right?
Unfortunately.
If bronies is a real thing, and apparently it is, why not the Gadget cult? Apparently, BronyCon.
Why not?
BronyCon went for like 9 or 10 years. I think they only stopped at like 2 years ago or something like that.
Oh, really?
Was it because of the pandemic? Oh, 2 years ago.
I think 2019. Anyway, for those who don't know, bronies are
full-grown men,
adult male fans of the show My Little Pony's Friendship is Magic. I read it said like most of them are adult men in their 20s. It's like 75% or 85% are male. It says 75% are single. Surprise, surprise. Number of their parents. Surprise, surprise.
And that's who Anonymous is I'm throwing that out there. Bronies. That's Bronies. Anonymous. The hacker group,
Bro and Ponies.
Yeah. I'm not going to say that because I think Anonymous could really kick our asses digitally.
Oh, I'm sure they could, but My Little Pony, My Little Pony.
There is, for some of them, there is a sexual component to their affection for the show. Those ones are called cloppers.
Oh wow. So I'm down with the Gadget.
A big racism and white supremacy angle with them.
Which
infiltrated their ranks.
Not the
but I don't want to.
Of it.
Yeah, I don't want to give a bad name to all the good non-racist bronies out there. We know you're not all like that. I don't want to lump you all together. The good, clean bronies who are just doing it for
the perverse love of
a
child's cartoon,
child's pony cartoon. I don't want to lump you in with all the racism and the imagery that accompanies some of the fan art. So,
if I had
just making that clear.
If I had the money, I'd run a study, cross-compare the sex offender registry with brony lists of bronies and see if there's much overlap. I'm going to gamble on it and say there would be.
I think you should do this research project and come back to us next episode with the results.
With the data. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to go fund me on the thing and then I'll go to Mexico with all the money. So.
Well, you can do that with your passport. I'm going to Russia with my passport.
They know how to party there, right?
It sounds like it. Are you kidding me? I thought she was hot.
Yeah, water dogs.
I love Russia.
Speaking of traveling, John and I are and our wives are headed to Vegas next week.
Nice.
Hopefully we have some stories from there.
Yeah, so I'm hoping we can
absolutely
come back with some stories. Ironically, John and I have been to Vegas before.
Yeah,
and there's actually some pretty funny stories. At least one I'm thinking of. I think John knows the story, and I'm going to tell it because I think
I was going to say, is he going to?
This. Well, first of all, let me just start by saying we went up to the Penn and Teller Hotel. What is that called? The Flamingo?
No, it was the Riviera.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, they have a big zip line where you can go up like 100 billion stories and show off that you have more testosterone than your fat friend Jason by riding on the zip line. And that's what we did first.
I mean, we didn't need proof of that, but the zip line gave it to us anyway.
Yeah, John's like, hey, do you want to ride the zip line? I'm like, hell no, but you can. So I went and videoed it so I would have something to send to his widow when he dropped to his death. But anyway, we were not with our significant others. And we were walking the strip during the day, just so you know. And we were at a stoplight, and all of a sudden this girl just like crashes into John. And for our listeners, John is a very good looking individual. So whereas I'm
good looking.
Whereas I'm not the worst looking man, he's actually a good looking man. So anyway, this girl like crashes into him, and John like kind of helps her steady herself because he thinks that maybe she tripped, but she didn't. She did it on purpose, and she looks up with him with this dreamy, lustful expression, and she says, "You are so beautiful."
I love it.
And she just is like holding on to him, and she's like, "You are beautiful." Now, this young lady was, by all estimates, intoxicated.
Trying to figure out how you got there, but okay.
Yeah, well, you know, probably intoxicated with John's like pheromones. Maybe it wasn't alcohol.
Why do you think I pass out whenever I'm there with you guys in the corner?
But I'll say that this was the longest ass light I've ever been at. Like, it went on for like 20 minutes. It felt like.
And the whole thing was awkward and uncomfortable, just waiting for that light to change.
But she just kept hanging on, and she's like telling him how beautiful he was. John, because he's the honorable man, immediately volunteered the information that he was married. But that didn't seem to dissuade this young lady. She said, "Well, you only live once," you know, something to that effect.
Yeah, and there was a comment about, "Well, your wife's not here, is she?"
Yeah.
Something like that.
So I did what any good friend would do. John and I have been friends for 3 decades now.
And you shouted, "I'm single."
No, I took a step away from him and let him handle it his own damn self.
He sat back, pulled out some popcorn. I don't even know where he got the popcorn.
It's that Michael
Sat
Jackson
down on the lawn chair, just eating popcorn, watching how I handled it.
It was that Michael Jackson gif where he's just like looking up at the screen eating popcorn.
Yeah.
That was totally me. So yeah, I stepped away and just kind of enjoyed the show, but she just kept hanging on. She did have a sober friend who was trying to pull her away, which made the thing even funnier. And one of the best parts is we were with our friend Holly. She's just a few years older than us, and she turned to Holly, this drunk lady. She said, "Is this your mom?"
Yeah, I don't think she liked hearing that.
Holly got pretty upset, and it was pretty all around funny. Holly's very young looking. I don't know why she thought that. I think she didn't want.
I've seen Holly. She is young looking.
I think she didn't want Holly to be his wife, is why she said that.
Yeah.
Anyway, one of the funniest things I've ever seen, and for John's wife, who may listen to this, he handled himself with honor and total fidelity to you. So I just want to say that. I'm proud.
I love it. That's fantastic. Vegas is always good for so many stories.
Oh yeah.
I always love, like, the cities like Vegas that are less discreet about advertising their strip clubs than we are here.
Yeah.
But I always love the signs like "live girls." It's like, as opposed to what? Dead ones? Or the cadavers they used to use, a bit too creepy for their burlesque shows or whatever.
Probably cheaper too.
Yeah, it's like, I'm sure that's not what they mean. I know what they mean, but just always seeing that makes me giggle every single time. Live girls, they gave up using the dead ones. It's no longer a weekend to burn these strip clubs.
That's why I hate Vegas now.
Oh, sad. You're gonna.
Hey, I'm just continuing this necrophilia thing, dude.
I took my kids to Vegas years ago when they were all still small, and we went to a hotel in Henderson. And my oldest, who was like 7 at the time, he turned on the TV, and I hear, "Dad, what does XXX mean?"
Extra fun.
I said, it means give me the remote. I turned the TV off. And then I checked to see if there was a TV in my room. So, no, I'm kidding. But yeah, so hopefully we'll have some stories that we can. A couple of things that are coming up too is I've talked to author Dave Butler. I'm sure I can use his full name on this podcast. Very funny guy, very accomplished, best-selling author. He is going to be on our podcast here in a couple weeks. So
sweet.
I probably won't be here for that.
Unlike
that guy,
he is successful.
You better be here, Zach.
I'll be here. I'm just teasing.
He is one of the funniest guys I know. He's got a really dry wit. So he coined the term crotch tentacles once when we were having a conversation. So that's the kind of quality content you can expect from Mr. Butler.
Fantastic. That's exactly where he belongs here.
Oh, absolutely. So anyway, yeah. So any more tips on parenthood or anything like that we want to share with our listeners?
I'm going to be a little bit serious for a second. Yeah. I have a therapist, and I was speaking to her the other day. I'll make this quick. And my son has multiple times told me he doesn't like being at my house. He doesn't, like being near me, things like that. And I know it's sad. It is sad, but I've read up on this because it does hurt, and I understand he's only 5, so I get it. So I've looked it up, and there are preferred parents. Whether the parents are still married or not, there's always the parent that the kid gravitates toward more, and sometimes extremely. So I'm not the preferred parent, and what I ended up reading was one thing that it didn't help me. For a minute it did, but then I just felt terrible again. But it said a lot of times what happens is the child may may feel comfortable with you, and they want more attention from their other parent or whatever. So they take you for granted because they're kids. They don't know. It's not their fault. So they take the one parent for granted, and they don't know how to articulate things when they're that young. So, they talk about that other parent more, that kind of thing. And so that didn't help me really. But then I talked to my therapist, and I was telling her about it, and she said, well, you need to think about it. She kind of slapped me in the face over the video conference we were doing. She's like, kids sense your energy. Kids sense how you're feeling. And you haven't been great, a la, that's why you're seeing me. And they sense that. So would you want to be around you? I was like, holy shit. No, not at all. So what's awesome is that I took that advice to heart. And I just recently got my son back for a few more days than I normally do. We have a week on, week off, and I got him early. I was happy to take him. And today was my first full day with him. And I kind of threw off all the negative energy and
Cooking?
I don't know. What's that?
Did some cooking?
I did. Yeah, I did do some cooking, but I interacted with him on a different level when we were outside. Like, I'm not super fun. I'm not the type to do this, but like, we went for a walk, and so then we raced, and here I am, chunky dude wearing a flowery shirt and some slacks and running. Well, yeah, right. I know the shirt belies the truth. But I'm, like running down the sidewalk, being a goofball, and it felt good. It was nice. And that's just not the kind of person I normally am. So I don't know. You get these wins with your kids sometimes that he's been just super affectionate today. He's just really enjoying this different energy I've been providing for him. And I just think it's important for people to know that if they're ever in the same kind of situation, maybe check yourself. Maybe your energy's low. Maybe you're not really giving off good vibes. It's a real thing, because we all sense people. We can read people. So why can't kids? They do.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, anyway,
that's awesome. I'm glad you had those moments with them today. That's wonderful.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
It's kind of cheesy and corny, but I've had similar experiences. My kids have been through a divorce in the last couple of years, and I had some major depression, so they got to see that. One of the, eye-opening moments was my oldest son brought me a book on depression one day, I'm like, what's this for? He's like, because you have depression. I'm like, oh,
wow. Damn.
But I mean, I had one of those moments where I went shopping with my youngest, and we bought a shoe thing. You put shoes in, at Walmart.
A shoebox?
No, it's like not a shoebox.
You smart ass.
It's like a cubby thing where you put everybody's shoes in.
Oh, those, yeah.
Anyway, so he and I put it together, and it's just this menial task, but we bonded over that, and I mean, that was part of a kind of a healing of our relationship, and we'd watch The Simpsons. We watched like the first 10 seasons together at a certain time every day. He'd be like, "Hey, Dad, aren't we going to watch The Simpsons?" And it's just one of those things. So I get what you're saying, absolutely, because a lot of times when you have mental illness, such I do too, you tend to turn inward, and it just
absolutely.
Kids kind of sense that, and they react. So.
Yeah.
John doesn't have any mental illness. He's perfect.
Yeah, his kids have always loved him. They're just like, Daddy, you're the best. We're standing in the background with our heads dropped. Like, oh. They love him.
No. Everybody has their things,
Oh, absolutely.
Great. Did you want to have any parental advice or take a serious, tender moment with the microphone?
Oh, man.
Gross.
It's okay. We have that putty you got to clean up any messes.
I'm using it right now. Excuse me.
You. Spur of the moment, I can't really think of anything right now.
I'll tell you this.
Yeah, I don't know.
From an observer's point, John is the most patient father I've ever seen. I've literally seen his children run up to him and punch him in the junk. And then he'll just be like, please don't. Whereas I'd be like, what the hell? And probably drop some
and punch them right back in the junk.
Yes, they have gone through phases.
Kidding.
I thought punching Daddy in the junk was hilarious.
And I've seen this. But I was impressed with his patience.
It's a virtue to have that kind of patience, for sure. It's something I wish I could be better at.
Well, when I punch you in the junk, you swear at me like a sailor.
Yeah, but that's foreplay, baby. That's how it goes.
Well, on that note, maybe we should draw this episode to a close.
Oh, yeah, we need to, because I'm coming right over. And then I'm going to your house. Ew!
Oh, gross. Well, thanks for listening to us kind of do our thing. Please tell friends about the podcast. We're trying to get it going, and we think we are funny, and so we want to. If you think we're funny, please tell other people about us, and leave a rating or review. Not preferably one like those Amazon ones we read earlier.
Although we help your sex life too, we'll take it.
Yeah, we can save marriages. This is I think we can. I mean,
absolutely.
And if
I mean,
not,
we've got
Zach is single, so if we break up a marriage, that's more dating options for Zach.
Gentlemen.
Hey, thanks for listening, guys. Have a good week.
Give us money.
Give us, guys. Please give us money.
This is my last hope. I'm gonna go on the streets. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Review our podcast, and we're gonna whore Zach out. Peace out. It said, and we will cut that long pause out because I just lost it. 1 second.
Oh, you piece of shit. Oh shit, is my mic on?
Yes, it is. Sorry, 1 second. I built that up, didn't I?
I had a raging hard on, and then you're just like, nah.
There's a cold shower out of nowhere.
We're already losing it. I'm down to a semi, Jason.
Okay, so this is so who wants to go next with show and tell?
That depends. I don't know. You want to rock, paper, scissors for it, or what do you want to do?
Yeah, let's rock, paper, scissors. Of course, I've already gone, so if I win, I get to choose.
I don't care, man. You pick.
Rock, paper, scissors. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Oh, I didn't know
Whatever.
that. I always did it on
three.
three. Cheating son of a bitch.
I think Zach won.
Okay, you pick, Zach.
I pick.
Would you want to go first? Or you want?
Oh,
me to go,
yeah.
or
I'll just go first. Yeah, it's fine.
Right.
I don't care. I like ending on your stuff because it's pretty funny.
The character would be the tipping point.
That's. Are you telling me the truth here? You actually really did start dyeing your beard and losing weight because
comb in just for men's stuff, so it's slightly less gray. It's more like a beard wash.
I just